Hi, my name is Krystal Shields, and I am Director of Talent Management here at Harness Inc. And today I'm going to talk about self-advocacy, tips and tricks for managing your career in tech. Why advocating for yourself is important. You're the best person to speak on your behalf. This is your career. This is the best way to get what you want and to share that with your managers and your leadership team. And it's a great way to learn how to express your needs and to achieve your goals. But please remember a couple of things. You need to be open to self-reflection and be self-aware. How you see yourself sometimes is not how others see you. Educate yourself about your career. What are the norms in your career? What's the normal career path? We all want to get to the top at some point, but there's usually a natural progression. And then partner with your manager or even a mentor to prepare yourself for the conversation about your career. Career development and advancement. You drive your own career, and I think it's very important for everyone to recognize that. You need to work in partnership with your manager to do this, but it's not your manager's responsibility. Understand where you are in your career and be realistic. Work to fill in the gaps. What do you need to get to the next step? Ask the questions if you need to. And know what drives you. It has to be more than money and compensation. Those are great things and they come part and parcel with your career advancement, but you have to want to learn and grow, whether it's to be a leader or to be a subject matter expert in your field. And seek opportunities to learn and grow. That could be inside your company with a challenging new project, stepping outside of your comfort zone or your normal job. Or it could be going out and seeking a training or a certification to just get a better understanding of what it is that you want to do. Don't wait for your manager or another leader to direct your career. Again, I cannot emphasize enough, it's your responsibility, not someone else's. Invest in building your network and get a mentor. Getting a mentor can be a little bit challenging, but sometimes they come naturally as a former manager or someone that you might meet at a conference or at a networking event. But networking and just having other people at your level or near your level, or people who've done the things that you want to do and have the careers that you want, is great. It's a great way to make sure that you know what the best practices are in your field and you get some perspective outside of your team. And understand the landscape of your company. A startup is very different than an established firm. Startups are scrappy, they don't have a lot of process, there's not a lot of clarity, so you need to be really flexible and you need to be open about the directions that your career might take at a startup. Versus at a well-established company, you might be able to change divisions, you might be able to relocate to a different company, so they're just very different perspectives. What we're doing here at Harness in order to help the career development and advancement of our team is we're promoting our top performers. We have quite a few of our employees who came into us as individual contributors and now are people managers, and we're grooming our rising stars to be tomorrow's leaders. We support professional development, both internally and externally. We are going to be launching a training on managing your career, and this is for everyone at the company at all levels, so both individual contributors and managers alike. And we're establishing career pathing for all of our organizations within the company. Pay equity is another great way to advocate for yourself. You want to get paid what you're worth. Be armed with good data. Oftentimes employees will come to me and they'll say, I'm not getting paid the market rate. But I always ask, where does that data come from? Are you getting that data online? Is it vetted data? Is it something that your friends are telling you that they make? And are they making that money at a comparable company? So there's a lot of things to consider. Negotiating is really important, but understand that there may be limits. If you're at an early stage startup company, they may not have a lot of cash to be able to pay you. And so oftentimes they're going to give you more equity than they are cash in the early days. And just because you don't get what you ask for, it doesn't mean that you're underpaid. So most companies do not share compensation information for all of their teams and all of their employees, but hopefully you can trust your company to do the right thing and make sure that you're paid within the range as your peers for the work that you're doing. And then understanding your company's compensation philosophy and practices. Again, at an early stage startup such as Harness, we're in the early days of figuring out what our philosophy is, and so we have to be really flexible. But a larger company, say a Facebook or a Google, is going to have much more established practices that they're sharing out with the team. So you want to understand that. And if you don't know, ask. And some of the things that we're doing here at Harness are we compare our compensation to vetted, reliable market data. So it's not just anecdotal, although our talent acquisition team is really great about going out and getting real-time data from candidates or from their peers. But we want to make sure that we're using real market data in order to determine what we should be paying our employees. We review our global compensation on a regular basis to identify and correct any pay inequities. So we want to make sure that everyone is getting paid for the work that they're doing within our ranges. And our talent acquisition team ensures that our offers are fair and aligned with our compensation ranges so that there aren't outliers where someone, may have come into the company at a much lower pay rate and then they're getting paid less than their peers and maybe even outperforming their peers. The other thing that's really important about self-advocacy is self-care, particularly during this time, during this global pandemic. And it can be incredibly challenging because the lifestyles that we were living before, we're not living now. So it's important to set reasonable boundaries. And that means if you need to be offline to have dinner with your family every night, you should do that. And your company should support that. Or if you need to help your children with their schoolwork at set times every day, you should do that because we're all trying to navigate this new normal. Take time for yourself and your family. Get out of the house. If you live in an area where you are able to do some traveling and social distance and be out in the open, it's really important that you do that. If you're a leader, lead by example. You can tell your team as many times as you want to that they should take time off and they should take care of themselves. But at the end of the day, if you're not setting the example, they're just not going to do it. Get moving. It's really, really, really important to continue to be physical. So, the things that we used to do, like commuting into work or going to the gym or taking that soul cycle class or going out and playing tennis, oftentimes we just can't do that anymore. So find creative ways to continue to be physical. And if you don't know what to do, ask for help. If you feel like you're drowning, you're working too hard, that you feel like you're always on, just ask for help. Ask your manager, ask your HR team, or even ask a peer, what should I do? And be kind to yourself. I can't stress that enough. I tell my team that all of the time. This is a really challenging time for all of us in many different ways. And we need to not only be kind to others, we need to be kind to ourselves. Some of the things that we're doing to help employees focus on their self-care here at Harness is we have flexible work schedules. So again, if you need to take time off to help your children with their schoolwork, or if there's something else that you need to do that's a priority for you, we allow you to have flexible working schedules. We also have a really great TGIF off program where we close our entire global office once a month, and we'll be continuing that as we're all working remotely. We've added additional wellness benefits and perks such as wellness webinars, online fitness courses, and mental health and wellness courses so that our employees have a variety of resources to just help take care of themselves. And then we also have a stipend for home office setup for all of our employees and so that they can set up their home office in a way that's productive for them. And finally, I want to talk about allyship. Allyship is really, really important in the workplace. Diversity and inclusion is, a hot topic in the tech world and has been for some time. But I don't think that we talk about what it means to be an ally often enough. And an ally is a person who promotes and aspires to advance the culture of inclusion through intentional, positive, and conscious efforts that benefit people as a whole. Anyone can be an ally, right? So you can be a member of an underrepresented group. Maybe you're a female, or maybe you are a member of the LGBTQ community. But you can still advocate for others, whether they are within the group that you self-identify with or outside of that group. You might be an ally for or a mentor for a younger employee who has career aspirations. So that allyship is important in so many different ways. Understand your privilege. If you are someone who has a lot of career experience and someone within your company is asking you for help and asking you for mentorship and how did you get that way, understand that how you got there might be different than how they're going to get there. Or if someone says there's no one in the company at the upper levels, at the leadership levels that look like me, don't be dismissive. Listen to what it is they're saying and understand why it's important. Listen and do your homework. Don't just spout off something that you heard on social media or that came up in a random conversation, but really seek to understand someone else's position and why they feel the way that they do in the workplace, even if that's not how you feel. Speak up, but not over, to ensure all voices are heard. That's incredibly important. Oftentimes I have female employees come to me and they say, I'm in a meeting and they speak over me. I don't feel heard and I don't feel as if I have a voice. And it's not that our male colleagues don't care about what we have to say or that they're trying to shut us up. Sometimes they just don't realize that they're doing that. So it's important to be able to communicate that. I have something to say and I would like to say that. And it's important for our colleagues to hear us and allow us to have that moment. Apologize when you make mistakes. No one is perfect. We all make mistakes all of the time. And as the world is changing and evolving, it can be difficult to keep up with all of that and how you should speak to someone and is this the right thing to do? And can I invite this person to coffee or whatever else it is that you're dealing with? So if you make a mistake, apologize. But if someone apologizes to you, you need to be open to that apology, right? I think that's important as well. And finally, ally is a verb. The work doesn't stop. It's something that you have to do actively and proactively all the time, every day. So thank you so much for listening to my talk on self-advocacy, and I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.